Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the 12 new Vitwin motorcycles 2026. Number 12, Honda Shadow Aero. The Honda Shadow Aero is back for 2026 with a fresh look that pushes it closer to the modern cruiser crowd. It keeps the long low stance people love, but the new bodywork comes with cleaner lines, brighter lighting, and a deeper chrome tone that stands out. This update is mostly about giving the bike a new face, and it shows the moment you see it parked. Under the seat, the 745cc Vitwin comes with a smoother tune for better low RPM response. The power is not wild, and that is the point. It stays cool, steady, and predictable. Honda also worked on heat control, so the engine gives off less warmth around the legs. Features stay simple, but a few upgrades make a difference. The new LED lighting is brighter at night. The gauge gets a small update with better clarity in sunlight. The seat foam is thicker and helps a lot on longer rides. Honda also refined the suspension to handle rough highways better, which means fewer shocks to the spine when crossing old concrete slabs or patched pavement. The Honda Shadow Aero lands in the low price range for cruisers with a tag in the low $10,000 zone, which makes it appealing for buyers who want a real Vitwin without paying the price of bigger rivals. Overall, the 2026 Honda Shadow Aero gives riders a fresh look, a calmer engine feel, and a fair price, making it a strong pick for anyone who wants a simple cruiser with real charm. Number 11, Moto Guzzi V7 Sport. The Moto Guzzi V7 Sport arrives for 2026 with a sharper stance and cleaner finishing that makes it feel fresh right away. The tank lines sit tighter, the side panels have smoother edges, and the seat shape has been changed for better comfort and control. The front end now carries brighter lighting with a neater housing, giving the bike a stronger road presence without going overboard. The 853cc Vitwin carries a small update in tuning to help the engine breathe better at lower speeds. It stays true to the signature Moto Guzzi feel with a steady pulse, but the revised tune helps it pull stronger off the line. This makes slow city riding easier and gives a calmer feel at highway speeds. Features stay focused on simple riding needs. The gauge layout is clearer and easier to read, especially in bright daylight. The LED lights make night rides safer. The seat foam has been softened so long rides take less toll on the lower back. The suspension has been tuned to reduce harsh hits from rough pavement, something riders will notice right away on cracked roads or older bridges. The Moto Guzzi V7 Sport sits in the mid-$10,000 range, making it a solid pick for riders who want a classic look with real updates, but without climbing into the high-price brackets. Overall, the 2026 Moto Guzzi V7 Sport keeps its classic heart but adds fresh style, a smoother engine feel, and a price that makes sense for riders who want something honest and strong for everyday rides. Number 10, Harley Davidson Breakout 117. The 2026 Harley Davidson Breakout 117 arrives with fresh factory paint choices and stronger lighting that give it a cleaner look on the road. Its long raked front end, bobtail rear fender, and wide rear tire all stay true to that chopper-like stance most riders expect. But the new factory colors like blood orange and teal thunder help it stand out at a stoplight without aftermarket parts. Power comes from the Milwaukee 8117 custom Vitwin engine, giving the bike strong low-end torque that feels immediate when you roll on the throttle. This motor is big and grunty, built to pull hard from slow speeds and keep rolling at highway paces without fuss, which is important for open road cruising or fast moves around slower traffic. Inside, the features are simple but useful. The gauge setup is easier to scan at a glance, and the USB-C charging port keeps phones or nav devices topped up on long rides. Suspension is tuned to soak up bumpy pavement so highway miles feel less tiring, and the seat shape has subtle tweaks for better comfort over longer trips. The Breakout 117 sits near the mid-$20,000 zone, which puts it in the higher tier of cruisers but still competitive given its engine size and standard equipment. Overall, the 2026 Harley-Davidson Breakout 117 pairs updated looks with strong torque and practical features, giving riders a chopper-inspired cruiser that feels both familiar and a bit sharper out on the open road. Number 9. Suzuki SV7GX. The Suzuki SV7GX steps into 2026 with a fresh body style that gives it a cleaner road stance right away. The tank lines are tighter, the panels fit closer to the frame, and the headlight housing has been shaped to look more current. Suzuki also worked on the seat shape so riders get better support on long days, which helps a lot on wide American highways. The 749cc engine keeps the classic SV spirit but with smoother tuning this year. Power comes in with a calm pull from low revs, and the throttle feels steadier at slow speeds. This helps during city rides where stop-and-go traffic can be tiring. Features stay simple and useful. The LED lighting helps with night rides, and the upgraded gauge is easier to read when the sun hits it from awkward angles. The suspension has been adjusted to handle broken pavement and rough concrete, which is helpful for riders who deal with patchy roads. The Suzuki SV7GX sits in the low $10,000 zone, making it a reachable option for riders who want a fresh 2026 machine without stepping into higher budgets. Overall, the 2026 Suzuki SV7GX blends a cleaner exterior, a smoother engine tone, and a solid price, giving riders a capable machine that fits both daily commuting and long weekend rides across the states. Number 8. Harley Davidson Heritage Classic. The Harley Davidson Heritage Classic rolls into 2026 with a refreshed outer look that keeps its vintage style but adds smoother metalwork and tighter body lines. The front fender sits closer to the tire, the saddlebags have a cleaner shape, and the full LED setup brings stronger brightness with a cleaner glow at night. The chrome pieces also sit with a clearer finish that makes the bike stand out in daylight. The Milwaukee 8 1746cc engine stays at the heart of the Heritage Classic, but this year it comes with refined tuning for quieter idle and steadier pull in the low range. Riders will feel a calmer takeoff from stop signs and smoother power in slow traffic. At highway pace, the engine runs with a relaxed tone that helps reduce fatigue on longer rides. Features follow a simple but useful layout. The LED headlight and markers make night riding clearer. The gauge cluster has better contrast so sunlight does not wash it out. The suspension has been tuned to cushion cracked bridges and rough pavement, making the bike easier to hold steady on uneven surfaces. The Heritage Classic sits in the low $20,000 range, placing it in the premium cruiser space, but still within reach for riders who want a strong long-distance machine with a classic look. Overall, the 2026 Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic brings cleaner looks, calmer engine behavior, and a solid feature set, giving riders a comfortable cruiser that fits both short trips and long coast-to-coast rides. Number 7. Indian Sport Scout. The Indian Sport Scout enters 2026 with a sharper exterior that gives it a fresh and more assertive stance. The tank has a cleaner curve, the side panels sit closer to the frame, and the headlight housing carries a tidier finish with full LED lighting. The new seat shape adds better support for long hours, and the rear fender has been trimmed for a tighter profile. In the engine area, the 1133cc V-twin comes with revised tuning that delivers smoother pull right from low revs. It feels calmer when rolling out of traffic lights and holds a steady tone at travel speeds. The feature list focuses on practical updates. The gauge layout is easier to read in bright sunlight thanks to better contrast. The suspension has been refined to handle rough or patched roads more smoothly, giving the bike a more planted feel without making it stiff. The Indian Sport Scout comes in the low $15,000 zone, placing it in a reachable range for riders seeking a new 2026 machine with strong character. Overall, the 2026 Indian Sport Scout blends a cleaner exterior, smoother engine feel, and a fair price, giving riders a compact but strong V-twin that works well for both daily rides and longer weekend runs. Number 6 is Suzuki Boulevard C50. The Suzuki Boulevard C50 shows up for 2026 with a refreshed outer style that makes it look more polished than before. The big teardrop tank now has smoother shaping, the metal trim around the panels has a tidier edge, and the chrome parts carry a deeper shine that stands out under daylight. Under that classic shell sits the steady 805cc V-twin, now tuned for a calmer and smoother pull from down low. Riders will feel the difference when easing through traffic or rolling away from stop lights. The throttle response is more controlled, which helps maintain balance at slow speeds. At travel pace, the engine holds a relaxed tone that keeps fatigue low. The upgrades focus on keeping the ride simple but nicer. The lighting package offers clearer night visibility. The gauge panel has been refined for better clarity in bright sun. Suspension tweaks help the bike stay composed on rough pavement, something you notice right away when hitting older concrete or patched roads. The Suzuki Boulevard C50 carries a tag in the mid-$8,000 range, giving it strong value for a 2026 cruiser with a V-twin. Overall, the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard C50 pairs a fresh exterior with a smoother engine tune and a fair price, making it a solid pick for riders who want a cruiser that stays simple, steady, and comfortable mile after mile. Number 5. Honda Shadow Phantom. The Honda Shadow Phantom rolls into 2026 with a darker and cleaner look that gives it a fresh road presence. The matte panels have been refined, the metal trim sits closer to the frame, and the headlight housing carries a tighter finish with full LED lighting. The new seat shape gives better lower back support, and the rear fender has been shortened for a neater line. All these small exterior tweaks help the Phantom feel more current while still keeping its stripped, low stance. The 745cc V-twin gets a calmer tune this year aimed at smoother low-range pull. It moves off the line with less effort and holds a steady beat during slow traffic. At cruising pace, the engine stays relaxed, which helps cut down fatigue on longer rides. The suspension has been adjusted to take the sting out of cracked pavement and uneven roads. The seat uses thicker padding that helps on longer trips, making the bike more comfortable for daily use or weekend rides. The Honda Shadow Phantom sits in the low $10,000 range, which makes it a strong value in the 2026 cruiser field. Parts are easy to get and normal service stays light on the wallet, keeping ownership simple for riders who want a dependable V-twin without stretching their budget. Overall, the 2026 Honda Shadow Phantom brings a cleaner style, a softer engine response, and a reachable price, giving riders a steady cruiser that feels new without losing the attitude that made it popular in the first place. Number 4. Harley Davidson Street Glide. The Harley Davidson Street Glide steps into 2026 with a sharper exterior that updates its classic full-fairing look. The front fairing has cleaner cuts, the side bags fit tighter against the rear section, and the paint choices feel richer with brighter chrome on the engine and exhaust. The seat is reshaped for long-distance comfort, and the LED lighting gives it a clear, modern glow while keeping the well-known Street Glide look intact. At its core sits the 1868cc Milwaukee 8 V-twin, now tuned for smoother pull at low and mid RPM. The updated mapping helps the engine feel calmer in traffic while still giving strong torque when you roll on the throttle on highways. Vibration is controlled enough to stay comfortable while still giving the familiar Harley pulse that riders expect. Features get steady upgrades without going overboard. The infotainment screen responds faster and is easier to read under sunlight. The suspension is refined to handle cracked pavement with less shake, and the reshaped seat makes long trips less tiring. The 2026 Harley-Davidson Street Glide carries a price in the mid-$20,000 range. It sits in the premium class, but offers strong value for riders who want a long-distance cruiser with comfort and style. Overall, the 2026 Harley-Davidson Street Glide mixes a fresh exterior, a smooth and powerful V-twin engine, and useful upgrades, making it a strong choice for riders who want a comfortable touring cruiser with a classic look and modern function. Number 3. Suzuki SV650. The Suzuki SV650 comes into 2026 with a cleaner and more refined exterior that keeps its classic middleweight shape but looks more current. The tank lines flow smoother into the seat, the side panels sit tighter to the frame, and the LED headlight gives it a sharper face. The seat now has better padding and the rear section looks more compact, giving the bike a lighter, tighter profile. Power comes from the familiar 645cc V-twin, now tuned with slight adjustments for steadier low-end pull and smoother response in stop-and-go traffic. For 2026, Suzuki focused on making the engine more controlled at lower RPM while keeping the strong mid-range torque that the SV series is known for. The feature list stays practical. Suspension tuning helps soften the impact on worn or uneven asphalt, and the improved seat foam makes longer rides easier on the back. ABS works quietly in the background, providing safer braking without changing the natural feel of the ride. Nothing flashy, but everything works well for daily riding. The 2026 Suzuki SV650 sits in the high $8,000 range, making it one of the more affordable Vitwin options for riders who want a dependable middleweight. Overall, the 2026 Suzuki SV650 blends a refreshed design, a smooth 645cc Vitwin, and a fair price, making it a solid pick for riders who want a reliable and steady cruiser that keeps things simple and enjoyable. Number 2. Indian Scout Bobber. The Indian Scout Bobber rolls into 2026 with a tougher exterior that looks more refined than past versions. The tank has a smoother curve, the fenders sit lower, and the new LED headlight gives the bike a clean modern face without losing its raw style. The seat sits low and close to the frame, giving it a compact stance, and the blacked-out engine parts stand out against the fresh paint options. Power comes from a 1133cc Vitwin that delivers a strong and steady push at lower and mid RPM. For 2026, Indian adjusted the throttle setup to make it smoother in traffic while keeping the strong mid-range hit riders expect from the Scout line. Features stay simple but useful. Suspension tweaks help steady the bike on uneven pavement, and the improved seat foam adds comfort without changing the bike's stripped-down look. ABS works quietly to provide safer stops while keeping the natural feel of the brakes. The 2026 Indian Scout Bobber comes in the mid-$13,000 range. It lands in a sweet spot for riders who want strong power, sharp style, and a middleweight size that works for both cities and open highways. Overall, the 2026 Indian Scout Bobber brings a fresh exterior, a strong 1133cc engine, and a fair price, making it a solid choice for riders who want a bold Vitwin with a clean and updated feel. Number 1. Yamaha V Star 250. The Yamaha V Star 250 enters 2026 with a cleaner and more polished exterior that updates its small cruiser look. The tank shape is smoother, the fenders have tighter curves, and the chrome on the engine and exhaust stands out more against the darker paint choices. The LED headlight gives it a sharp, modern glow, and the seat has been reshaped for a lower stance that makes the bike look more planted. At the center is a 249cc Vitwin engine that keeps the calm and steady nature the V Star series is known for. Yamaha refined the mapping for 2026, giving the bike smoother low-speed control in traffic and a steadier pull-up to highway pace. The engine stays cool thanks to better airflow, and vibration is kept under control to make the ride comfortable even on longer runs. Features remain simple but improved. Full LED lighting boosts visibility, and the updated gauge is clear even in bright sun. Suspension tuning helps soften bumps on older pavement, and the new seat foam adds more support for daily rides. The 2026 Yamaha V Star 250 is priced in the low $4,000 range, making it one of the most affordable Vitwin cruisers in the U.S. market. Overall, the 2026 Yamaha V Star 250 brings a fresher look, a smooth 249cc engine, and a low price, making it a smart pick for riders who want a light, easy cruiser that still feels classic and well-built. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.